All right, welcome back to PTI, folks. Today is February 11th. My name is Reed Favola. Alongside me is my co-host, Cole Maines.
Thanks for the intro, Reed, and let's get into talking about whether or not NBA players should have front office powers. And I honestly don't think – I think they should be able to suggest, but I don't think they should be able to trigger a buy.
Yes, I don't – because if you look at why LeBron went back to Cleveland, it was to gain the power that he wanted to run the franchise in a sense because, he's only going back there if they allow him to do whatever he wants, go trade Andrew Wiggins for Kevin Love. I think you should have a right to talk to, front office and
like
demand
suggestions, but you do not trigger the buy. You do not. That's not your place.
They only traded for Kevin Love because LeBron wanted Kevin Love. And Andrew Wiggins, albeit he's not doing the greatest, but he was, at the time, projected to be, like the next LeBron. So
he was really good. So, again, players should not trigger the buy.
Yeah, I think it just depends on how much they're asking for and what the relationship between player, GM, coach, what have you, whatever, how good that relationship is.
Yeah, and we got to move on. We're going from franchise players in the NBA to maybe a franchise quarterback in the NFL draft. Do you think it's worth trading up?
In general, unless Andrew Luck is sitting there at the first pick, I do not think it's worth trading up.
Maybe Deshaun Johnson, but this QB draft class, don't mean to interject, but this QB draft class is very poor.
Yes.
It goes Deshaun Watson, thank you, and then it's everybody else.
Yeah.
So I don't think you trade up for a quarterback unless you have Deshaun Watson there. There's a definite need for quarterbacks this year.
Yeah, and it's every year because the NFL is so limited at quarterbacks. It's just not going to work out. I just don't think it's because you could rather get Myles Garrett, who will impact your defense a lot more than, let's say, he's an A+. He'll impact you a lot more than, let's say, a C- quarterback will.
Yeah,
there's no point.
We saw that last year.
And you're also giving up more stuff to go get him.
Who was the best option last year?
It was Dak Prescott.
Throughout the whole draft, it was a defensive player in the first round, and it was because all the skill players were so limited.
Yeah. So we got to move on. So what are we finishing off with?
We're going to finish off with whether or not super teams are good for sports. And financially, they are a great thing. They distribute money from team to team, and you get more promotions when you're on national TV.
Yeah.
But honestly, for the enjoyment of watching, it's not fun. They're going to win.
Yeah.
And there are no real rivalries. We see this in the NBA. The only reason why there's a rivalry in Serie A soccer, if you watch soccer, is because of El Clasico.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, what are your thoughts?
I think, again, like how you mentioned, economically it's good. Because if you're the Detroit Pistons, you're probably not doing too well. But if, let's say, the Warriors are coming to town, everybody's going to go to the game because they want to see the Warriors.
Yeah.
So it'll help you financially. But in terms of play in general, I think part of the reason why in the Warriors case they pretty much destroyed all rivalries because we saw it with the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat, everybody was against them. The Pacers, the Celtics, everybody, the Spurs, Mavericks, whoever, they were all rivals of the Heat. They all considered themselves rivals. But now everybody's kind of moved past hating them because nobody hates Kevin Durant as much as they hate LeBron. So I think that, kind of being the second time around so soon, I think it's kind of worse, it's not the fault of the Warriors, it's more the fault of the consumer. But I think it does totally ruin the level of play because nobody's as good as the Warriors.
Yeah, on that level of competitiveness, we have to end it today. Thank you. Enjoy your day.